Welcome to Target Market Insights, the multifamily and marketing podcast. Each week, John Kasman interviews multifamily and marketing experts to teach you how to find the best places to invest, attract investors, and grow your portfolio. You are listening to Target Market Insights with your host, John Kasman.
Welcome to Target Market Insights, the multifamily and marketing show. I'm your host, John Kasman, and I want to thank you for joining us for another great episode. If you are enjoying the show, do me a big favor, leave us that review, give us a rating. That way more people can find this show and get the same great value that you're getting. We'd love to hear from you about what you're getting from the show. And if you have not already, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss an episode. Now, today we're going to be talking to Ana Santiago. Ana Santiago is the current COO of Outsource School, and she's been working remotely for 10 years. Starting at the age of 18, Ana started taking on her own freelance clients full-time, helping them with sales, SEO, content, eCommerce, and much more. Let's welcome to the show, Ana Santiago.
Hey, everybody. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you for this opportunity. I hope to bring great value to you guys today and hope you enjoy this session.
Absolutely. Listen, I went over your bio at a high level. Why don't you take 2 minutes and give us a little bit more context?
Yeah. So I never was a type of person that liked going into the office, although I am very interpersonal. I love being around other people. It's just like the corporate setting that really doesn't sit well with me. So I decided to invest in a good laptop, get great internet and for clients. And a lot of friends of mine had access early on. I mean, virtual assistants weren't as well known 10 years ago as compared to now. So I had good friends hook me up with some clients, and I helped do some content writing, social media management, SEO, web development even. And I just kept growing my skills and my experience until I got onto the right platforms. I met Nathan, I met Connor, and here I am 10 years later as the COO of Outsource School. And it's really great because being a virtual assistant opened so many doors for me. I mean, who knew you could become a COO from just halfway across the world and from your home, right? And it gives me a lot of time to spend with my family as well.
Yeah, listen, I think that's amazing to hear how you've kind of taken that time and really built your own business, and working with Outsource School, coming from, a freelance position, right? Because it's really building your way up where you didn't have to take on a more traditional approach. So I think there's something really great about that story there. You mentioned you got hooked up with Nathan and Outsource School, and you now work with a lot of different clients. Tell me a little bit more about that. Like, how many clients do you actually work with? What is that process like?
Wow. Okay. So in our private Facebook group alone, we have about 500 members, and I think a few hundred more in total, but we really like to work directly with them. We give them coaching. We entertain all of their questions that they have, which is really great. I think not a lot of businesses, coaching businesses or businesses that offer courses really get hands on with their clients. And for me, I love giving the best customer experience that we can. I just love helping them build, scale their business. And it is a bit difficult for a team of 10 to manage or to care for 500 members. But when you're really passionate about it, nothing is impossible. So top one is our customer care.
All right, 500 people. I mean, that is a lot of individuals to take care of, right? And you're talking about scaling up. You've got 500 members, a team of 10 people. You guys are really efficient, So let's talk a little bit about that, because I think that's ultimately what many investors, entrepreneurs are looking to do is how do we build the scale? How do we get more efficient? And you all certainly have different skill sets that you're able to replicate. Yeah. So let's start with that, right? If I'm an entrepreneur, I've got different things in my business. Maybe I'm running the financing. Maybe I'm, raising capital or working with investors. Maybe I'm looking for deals or, driving sales. Maybe I'm trying to create content, do social media. There's so much, right? That can happen in the business side of things. Help me understand where Outsource Schools really specializes, and
Right.
what are
Yeah.
some of the tasks or responsibilities that can be taken off of an entrepreneur's plate?
Right. Okay. Let me break it down a little bit for you there. So we focus on three main things: helping our clients save as much of their time as possible, outsource all the work they can so that they have more time for their personal lives or more time to focus on the more important parts. The second thing that we focus on is to help them avoid hiring mistakes. Hiring mistakes and costly turnover kills businesses. So we help them avoid that. And the third is we give them easy to implement systems and processes for the operations side and the marketing side of their business. Things that'll help them overall improve. So yeah, I said save time, avoid costly turnover, and putting together great systems and processes in place.
All right, so
Now,
here's the deal. I know
yeah,
a ton of people who have hired VAs, and only a handful love their VA. A lot of people have gone through multiple VAs and they're not quite getting what they expect to get out of it. So what is the secret sauce? You mentioned, helping people avoid hiring the wrong people.
yeah.
Maybe you can shed a little bit more light on that process.
Of course. Okay. So we have our main system, which is called Cracking the VA Code. It's our foundation, it's the fundamentals. This helps you prepare to make a hire. So even before you jump in and decide you're going to hire somebody, what are the things that you need to prepare for? Right. We also help you with the interviews, the onboarding, the training, and the management. I'll go into it in detail just a little bit. So for preparing to make the hire, we help you determine what tasks you need to outsource, what your priority is, how much your budget is to hire. Of course, you don't want to keep investing in hiring if you're not really doing so well. But the beauty is a virtual assistant, a general virtual assistant to start, only costs you between $5 to $8 per hour. That is a small investment to make if you're talking about helping you save you time and improve and scale your business. The second is interviewing. So we give you guys a list of interviewing questions that'll help identify the red flags within your candidates, among other things as well. So we give you a set of questions. You don't even have to think about the interviewing questions anymore. We have them prepared for you, and we have like a detailed or in-depth look into the reasons why we want to ask these questions. Onboarding. Now, the onboarding process is the most important part. A lot of entrepreneurs forget to onboard their virtual assistants. We go over, we call it our SICK method: scheduling, issues, communication, and culture. The most important parts is to remember is communication. So if the virtual assistant doesn't have the right communication skills and the right attitude, no matter how skilled they are, it will not work out in the long run. Now, I left out of onboarding just a little bit there. So let me go back. Onboarding helps you set expectations with your virtual assistant upfront. These are the hours that you need to work. You need to communicate with me on a daily basis. Here are our communications channels. This is for an emergency. This you can respond to within 24 hours. These are the rules within the business. Talk about your company culture. Talk about what you expect from them, how you need them to grow within the business. Going to the training. So the training is also very important, but a lot of entrepreneurs spend too much time with training their virtual assistants. Now, our methods teach you how to save a ton of time when training. So we use our SSS technique: study, sample, show. With great standard operating procedures, you can have these available for your VAs to study themselves, and then give them the resources, let them learn everything that they can on their own, and then just check on them afterwards and tell them, hey, do you have any questions? Was everything clear? Is there anything I can help with to help you do this task at a high level, right? Just make sure that you're as you're taking care of your time to the highest level, if that makes sense. Now for the management, right? So cracking the VA code is very, very, very well built out. We think of absolutely everything. Our management techniques have proven to do well. Nathan and Connor's previous business was 100% run by VAs. And it's all because of our systems and processes when it comes to management. What kind of meetings you need to hold, bonuses and raises? How do you do these with virtual assistants? How do you fire virtual assistants if you need to? How do you protect your company from your virtual assistants? Minimize the risk. And we go over all of this just in cracking the VA code. And we have 20 other playbooks that help you build out the operations and the marketing side of your business. I hope that helped.
Yeah, listen, great insights right there. I really appreciate you breaking down a couple of different things. I mean, I took my notes here and you talked about two things. One is people spending way too much time training their VAs, which I think is really interesting because it's one of the biggest reasons people don't want to hire. And it sounds silly, but it says, I'm way too busy. I'm actually too busy to train someone to make me less busy, right? And the amount of time it would take me to train this person, it's easier just to do the work. So a lot of people don't hire for that reason. Cost is obviously another thing that holds a lot of people back. So understand that, hey, you can get a quality VA for between $5 to $8 an hour. And if you can make sure that you're doing things that help drive the business, this could be a great investment. But you said two other little acronyms for the way you guys work. You said study, sample, show, SSS. And that's your process for kind of training and helping someone come on board. And then the communication, you talked about scheduling issues, communication, and culture. Those four things really being important ways to get a sense of who the right people are that you want to work with. So really great insights there. I realized earlier I was asking you about the different roles and areas that you guys could help someone with, and I don't think we quite got to that. So maybe you can just help me with that. What are some of the areas that outsource could alleviate some of the pains that investors and entrepreneurs are facing?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so there are three types of virtual assistants. You have the followers, you have the doers, and you have the experts. So the followers are more like the general assistants I was talking about earlier, within the $5 to $10 range. These people follow your lead, follow your standard operating procedures. And we have the doers. The doers are more specialized. These are the social media managers, the content writers, the video editors, and they range a little bit higher, between 7 to 15, depending on what their skills are. And you have the third being the experts. Now, the experts are people that you hire to come in into your business and improve things the way that they see fit. So like marketing agencies, for example, right? You don't necessarily tell them how to do their job. They're consultants, they're coaches, right? So those are the three. Now, I like your question. It's one of my favorite questions ever. What can a virtual assistant actually help with? In the 10 years that I've worked as a virtual assistant, I have yet to figure out what they cannot help with. As long as you can do it remotely, as long as you can do it from a computer, a virtual assistant can do it. And nowadays, there are so many virtual assistants that are really skilled. You may be even able to find someone that can do almost everything that you need in your business right now. Of course, we don't recommend just hiring one VA to do everything, because of course, if your virtual assistant is out sick for a week, what happens to your business then? We can help you determine, do you need a sales representative? Do you need social media? Do you need a copywriter? Do you need a bookkeeper? Do you need someone like me who runs operations for you so that you can spend time with your family, or you can take a vacation, a much needed one, if you haven't been one in 5-10 years. So yeah, a virtual assistant can do a lot of things. You would be surprised.
No, that sounds great. Anything with a computer, basically, in your business, you can find that. And that we're talking marketing stuff, right? We've mentioned content creation, video a little bit, things like that. But I'm assuming some of the other things like bookkeeping and other accounting type roles are also things that you can offload to a virtual assistant as well, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So let's switch gears a little bit, right? Because
Mhm.
I think one of the things that we want to do is figure out how to scale our business. And if you're an entrepreneur and you are trying to figure out how to grow, we know marketing is a powerful tool to help you do that. What are some of the things, when you think about social media, you think about SEO, where should someone start? Where do you think people should start when they're looking at their business and actually looking to scale?
Okay, so when you're building a business, I learned this from Nathan and Connor. You don't focus too much on marketing just yet. You have to make sure that your operations are is running smoothly, that everything that you need is in place. Someone to handle your sales, someone to handle the bookkeeping, someone to make sure that the site is working properly, someone to follow up with those leads, look for those leads, create partnership managers, and such. Okay, so if and when you have that established, of course, okay, let me rewind a little bit. I think I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. While you're running your operations and while you're ironing out all the details to make it run 100% smoothly, you should start the basics. Build up your group. Look for your ideal customers, your customer avatar. It's important that you figure that out first before ramping up marketing efforts. Um, Promote your pages, promote your products the best way you know how. Do a lot of research, talk to other people within the industry. I strongly believe the best way to learn is to learn from people who've already done it. So a part of what Outsource School offers is this great community with other entrepreneurs that help you build and scale your business. People who've been through a lot of challenges that you're just about to go through. So I'm not sure if I quite answered the marketing question, but make sure that your operations is built out well first. You identify your ideal customers, and you look at your products. What is your why do you do this? What is important to you before you ramp up on marketing?
Yeah, great insight because, to your point, maybe you don't rush out the door with the marketing spend. Instead, make sure your operations are tight, make sure you know what you're really good at, and then who do you help? If you have your avatar figured out, you know who
Yeah.
you help. Now you know who to target, you know what information they need, and that can help drive
Mm-hmm.
the marketing plan. So make sure you have some clarity there, will make it a little bit easier to develop your marketing plan.
Yeah.
Let's say we've gotten some of that figured out, right? When you are looking at starting to bring someone on with content, let's just say content broadly, a lot of times people have a hard time relinquishing the content creation because it's not their voice. What's your take on that? And if we use a VA, how do we make sure a VA can capture our essence or our voice, if you will?
A really great writer knows how to write different ways. So I know a few really amazing writers who even did a better job or had a better vision than the owners. I mean, it doesn't happen a lot, but they are there. Um, so again, I mentioned content writers or experienced writers should know how to. They have the flexibility to write different ways. Of course, you need to tell these content writers what you like, what you don't like. They should have the article or the content guidelines set out for them. So make sure that this is clear to you. You have those guidelines. Um, yeah, I want to add just a little bit back to your marketing question, if you don't
Yeah,
mind.
please.
Okay, so what we do at Outsource School right now is when we discovered what who our ideal customers are, and once we understood what we were strong at, me and the rest of my team, our partnership manager, our affiliate manager, went on and building more partnerships. We looked for communities to generate basically more partnerships. We do content swaps, article exchanges. I promote their business and they would promote ours as well. And this is just great to help with the marketing too. So just a tip.
No, it's really good. I mean, just leveraging communities and being able to tap into them. It's another great way to get in front of people. So appreciate you sharing that insight there. Let's kind of go back to VAs, right? And just trying to figure out how we actually tap into the power of an expanded team. And I think one thing is, really just opening up the mindset to a virtual assistant, because everyone wants to scale, and it's tough to scale if you're doing everything. And it may be tight on the budget, especially starting out. But if you can figure out how to offload some of these things, it can be very powerful for you to grow. You mentioned just the processes that are set up there and some of the work that you've done. Can you talk to me about some of the biggest mistakes you see people making when they hire VAs?
Okay, the biggest mistake, number one would be not communicating with your virtual assistants, not checking in on them, and not building strong relationships with your virtual assistant. Of course, you hire them to help you out, take the load off in your business. But what virtual assistants crave is the sense of belongingness or the sense of family. So if it doesn't work out with your virtual assistant, let's just say this was the issue. Okay. Well, I've actually, let me bring in my personal experience. I've had a long-term client, 3 or 4 years, and in the 3 to 4 years, we spoke to each other maybe once a week, and I would share my feedback with him. I'd have really great ideas on how to improve the business, but he'd keep me on just one part of the business, or just continually doing the same thing for 4 years. And then 6 months later, he'll come up with the idea himself and not give me credit for it. All I wanted to do was just hear him say, hey, that's a great idea. This can be really helpful with the business. So if you don't appreciate your virtual assistants, if you don't recognize them as part of your team, if you don't say that they are a big part in helping you to scale your business, that breaks their motivation to stay with you longer to scale. So one of the most important things that you need to do is establish great relationships with your VA, make them feel like family, communicate with them on a daily basis, even if it's just check in, see if they're doing okay, listen to their ideas. Some of the best ideas come from your virtual assistants. And I think that is one of the most common mistakes made when things don't work out between you and the virtual assistant. Another thing is not identifying what you really need help with in your business. So you hire this virtual assistant that is there for admin work, for example, and then all of a sudden, a month in, when you're working with them, the client says, hey, okay, now I need social media. Now I need someone to create images for me. Can you do this? Can you do that? Hey, now I need this virtual assistant to write content. And the virtual assistant was initially hired for just this general admin, organization, email management, calendar management, and maybe lead generation as well. And then now they're doing too many things or being pulled in too many directions. And that could also be a cause of something not working out. So make sure that you know exactly what you need and you identify what types of VA you need. I have a helpful tip to help with that. Before you decide to hire virtual assistants, create 2 lists. The first list helps you with list down everything that you do on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, and how long it takes you to do those tasks. The second list is a more skilled list. Some things that you don't necessarily know how to do yourself, right? So like video editing, graphic design, content writing, copywriting, web development. On the first list, these are the things that you can hire or outsource more easily compared to the second list. The first list would take priority. Mostly, you'll see on that list that it has a lot to do with operations first. So just a little tip there to determine what you need a virtual assistant for.
Yeah, I just want to recap some of that. That was some really insightful things. 3 things I took away. One is going backwards. You mentioned create these lists. What do you do with most of your time? And then what services do you need that you can't do yourself, right? And start with the list of the things you do and create that process where you can now offload that. The second, and it's almost like even it helps you create a job description, right? I think sometimes we as entrepreneurs, we cut corners in regards to the operational side of things. We look at it as bureaucracy and I'm not going to sit there and write up a job description. Just tell them, hey, I want you to do these 3 things. But there's a reason companies create job descriptions and clearly communicate to people. And I mean, if I ladder up your feedback there, it's that understanding that you are hiring somebody on your team. And just like if you were hiring someone in, I live in the United States, or wherever you're at, just like if you're hiring somebody to work in your office, there's a person, there's a humanity to it. There are expectations. This person is looking to grow in their career. And when you talk about building a relationship and getting to know them and giving them feedback and giving them credit, like a lot of that is with any employee. Every employee wants to be recognized for their contributions. They want to feel like a valued team member. They want to feel like, they're actually contributing to the greater goal. So when you talk about culture and things like that, I think that's huge because oftentimes entrepreneurs don't see it that way. They see their business as their business, and anyone they bring in is either a vendor or, again, just a person helping do some tasks. And I don't necessarily think they share that vision like a CEO would share it. And that's a good little nuance to say, hey, maybe stop being the taskmaster and instead be a CEO trying to create culture and embrace, the role and the contributions that this team member is bringing to your company.
Yeah, and it's very important that you get them into the mindset of treating the business as their own. How you treat them, how you build relationships with them, how they see you treating the business will help them get into that mindset, which is very important. You always want the people working with you to take care of the business as you would.
Awesome. I love it. All right, let's move on to our bullseye round. You ready?
Yup.
All right. Give me a failure or an apparent failure that set you up for later success.
Being a perfectionist.
Explain a little bit more.
Okay, so I spend a lot of time perfecting something, or why I think it's a con is because I spend too much time on it. I don't stop until the work I need to do is done. So I end up not standing up, not drinking water, not eating, feeling fatigued and burned out. And that led to a lot of my failure in the past. So now it helped me because I understand the importance of resting. I understand the importance of making sure I'm fed and I drink water. And I still provide the quality of work, even just resting for 10, 15 minutes at a time and then go back to working. I find a really good point to stop now. And yeah, it works. It helps.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
I find it really funny that tech issues often happen when you really don't need them.
Exactly right. All right, there we go. Sorry about that. Nope. Sorry, my questions disappeared and I don't know where they're at. So. All right, sorry about that. All right, I'll pick it up from right here. All right, give me a digital or mobile resource you recommend for your business.
Okay, we have a free webinar that Nathan created for everybody. It's called the 5 VA Keys, and it's on our website. So if you go to outsourceschool.com, you can grab a copy for yourself.
All right, make sure we link to that. Give me the book you've recommended or gifted the most in the last year.
Ooh, I have to be honest, I don't do much reading, but I love the book Start With Why. I gave this to my mom last year because she always wanted to become an entrepreneur. And I think it's important because it talks about, again, identifying your why. What is your purpose? What's most important to you? And then you, from identifying your why, you open the doors to the house and the what's. So it's awesome.
Give me a daily habit that helps you stay focused on your goals.
Daily habit. Oh, I'm a foodie. I cannot function well without eating. So I eat almost every hours or every couple of hours. I have to have like a bowl of nuts beside me while I work to keep me just focused. So I just keep munching and I can keep working like with a smile on my face. That's what keeps me happy. That's what keeps me going.
What are you curious about right now?
From a business perspective, we're curious about how our business will do after the pandemic. I know like outsourcing and using virtual assistants is really in now, but what will happen after the pandemic? Are people still going to be using virtual assistants? And will it continue to help them?
What's one thing you know now that you wish you knew when you were starting out?
I wish that we identified our avatars earlier on and that we identified what we were strong at. We spent our first year in business targeting the wrong people and coming up with great content, pushing ourselves to produce something new every month. And then we later realized that this is what our business needs and this is what our customers like, and these are the people that really benefit from us. So that's why I couldn't stress more earlier how it's important to identify your customer avatar and what you're passionate about in your business and what really works.
You mentioned that you are a foodie and you love food and have to eat very frequently. Give me the best place to grab a bite to eat.
Here, by the way, I'm from the Philippines. So in the Philippines, if you guys come, you have to try the native food. A lot of people from different countries that come to visit, I grew up with different cultures. They love adobo. So if you guys come and visit the Philippines, any Filipino restaurant would have it. Just request adobo. It's either chicken or pork.
Adobo sounds delicious. All right, listen, great insights. I really appreciate you helping us understand more about how to get the most out of a VA. One, why we need it, how affordable it can be for someone's budget, but then also how to actually optimize the process to get great value out of it. I know you mentioned that you have a special opportunity for our listeners. Can you share a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so if you guys are interested to know more about Outsource School, I'm going to give John my personal booking link so that you can grab a discount from me to join Outsource School. We're giving you 20% off joining our yearly plans. So hop on a call with me and get additional bonuses as well.
Listen, I appreciate you sharing that. And anyone who's looking to get a VA, I mean, what I've found is it really helps to work with an organization versus just randomly hiring somebody yourself. They have the processes and can make it a little bit easier for you. And if you have some challenges, you can go to them to help navigate some of that versus, having those tough HR discussions. So it definitely helps to have a resource in mind. So reach out there and we'll make sure that we put you in touch. Anna, great conversation with you. And we hope you have a great day. Okay. We'll talk soon.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. I appreciate it. Thank you, John. And thanks, everybody.